from the computer, but it's not allowing me to share my screen, and I need to share my screen with you guys. So hopefully this works a little bit better. So give me a minute because the light is real bright and I'm trying to see if that kind of helps to, no, that doesn't help. Okay, well, we're just gonna have to do what we gotta do with what we got. All right, so anyway, today I got a presentation for you guys. This is one that I actually did before, but it never landed where it was supposed to go. It didn't stay. So I got to redo this one. But before we do that, I got a lot to share with you guys. So make absolutely sure you're taking notes on everything that I'm telling you today, because this is critical. I mean, beyond critical. So first of all, thank you for tuning in and the thousands who will be watching this later. But there's a couple of things you need to know before we even get to the presentation. This week is going to be a very, very tumultuous, possibly tumultuous trading week. So you guys want to take notes, because I'm going to cover that first so that you are prepared and know what's about to happen on this coming week. Because if there is any week that you decide that you might want to take off from trading, this week may be it. Okay, this is a monster of a week coming up. So I'm going to go over the different events that you need to know about trading, and then we're going to get into the presentation. But I just want to do you guys this favor, because as I'm getting into the presentation, this is one of those weeks where you might want to just take off and say, you know what, let me think things through. Okay, so number one, on Monday, they are going to have, the GBP is going to come out with their news on jobs report. So just be clear that if you're trading the GBP, jobs report. Number two, USD on Tuesday is going to come out with their retail sales numbers, okay? And that's going to make the market jump a bit, depending on whether the numbers are growing or whether they're faltering, okay? But here's the biggest one that you guys need to know, which is going to possibly have the market moving really ratchet this week, okay? And that's the Fed interest rates. And again, we're going to get to the presentation, but I want to share this with you guys first because you need to know this. So here's what happened the last time the Feds made an announcement on last month about their interest rates. What actually happened was that they said that they were not going to raise the interest rates, but they weren't looking to pay any dividends in the future on our currency. In other words, the CHF, when they made their interest rate announcements, they also made an announcement last month that they was going to start paying interest on their currency. So that's the reason why anybody, if you've been trading the CHF, the Swiss, that's the reason why it went on an astronomical move to the upside, because they said they were going to start paying interest in about a year or so on the money. Meanwhile, the very next week or so, what happened was the Feds came out and said that they were going to also come out with leaving their interest rates alone, but they said they were not going to pay interest on it anytime soon. And that's the reason why the dollar crashed. Now, all eyes are going to be on what the Feds are going to say this week. Are they going to continue with that thought process that, hey, we're going to leave interest rates alone and we're not going to raise interest rates in the future, meaning that if you own our currency, you're not going to make no money off of it? Okay, that's a big one. Okay, next, you also have the jobs report by the AUD on Wednesday. You also have Swiss, and I just talked about them. The Swiss is also coming out this month again with their interest rates. Who knows what they're going to say? We'll see. And then last but not least, on Thursday, the JPY is also coming out with interest rate news. So this whole week is going to be kind of tricky as far as trading because of the all the news events that's coming out. So just be careful of that. Two more announcements, and then let's get into the presentation. Number two, I won't be doing a presentation next weekend because this is a second part one of part two. We will be skipping next weekend because guess what? It's Father's Day and I'm a dad. So I'm going to be celebrating and doing some things. I think my wife had planned to take me up to Yosemite Valley. I've never been to Yosemite, Yosemite, for somebody who called it wrong, Yosemite. So she planned me a trip to go up to Yosemite. That was always on my bucket list to do, and so that's what I'm gonna do for Father's Day. So happy pre-Father's Day for those fathers out there. And last but not least, I also want to let you guys know the Signals group has been killing it, even with news events and stuff like that. You can't really see the report as clear as you could or should, unfortunately, but last week we had 7 trades we sent out 9 signals. 7 of them were winners, 2 were break even. And so we had 7 trades, 7 winners and no losses. That's very, very good last week. And then on top of that, the cream on top of the cake was the fact that the signals, the scalping group, the live scalping group, they clocked almost 1,300 pips in there. So besides the 1,291 pips, besides the live scalping group of 1,291 pips, you also had 7 signals sent out, and we had no losses last week. So it was just a killer week. All right, so now let's get into the presentation. I had talked about this before, but I think it's worth repeating and going over this again because, again, YouTube didn't save my presentation. So I'm going to go over this presentation with you guys today, and make sure to share this. I know thousands are going to be tuning in later, and I am late today. I apologize. I was doing some things. Wendell, same thing to you, brother. Happy Father's Day to you coming up. You know, with us dads, we don't get celebrated in the world too much, you know, so we got to do what we got to do together. So I did this presentation a couple of weeks ago, but it didn't save onto YouTube. So I'm doing the first half again, and then I'll be doing the second half week after next. Please take notes because this is going to help you tremendously understand exactly why a lot of people are not being successful in the Forex market. And as I'm going through this, you really need to consider your place. Okay? You really need to consider what I'm saying to you, because until you deal with these things, you're going to be hard pressed and struggling to find your success in Forex, no matter what trading system you purchase, no matter who is your coach, whatever else, because a lot of this has to do with you, the person. Okay? It's not trading systems. That's why some people are endlessly buying endless numbers of trading systems and this and that and this. And the fact is that they're still not finding success, and they're wondering why. Because the fact is that sometimes it has nothing to do on the externals, such as trading systems, indicators, EAs, which is expert advisors, or trading robots, all these different things. You bringing a curse on your own self. Okay. And until you look in the mirror and deal with you, there are several things that's not going to happen for you. And one of them is high success in Forex. So as I go through this is just a challenge for you to look inside and say, what adjustments do I need to do? Okay. And I have to do this within my own self. So it's no shame. It's no this and that. It's just raw talk. Let's begin with the first one. So this one says, why trading is not a good career for everyone. Let's go to the first one. The first one, as you can see, if you can really see it, and I know it, I tried to do the live video from my desktop, but it wasn't showing this. So I apologize if it's not as nice as I wanted it to turn out. But as you guys can see, there's a guy right here. He's working out. He got his elliptical machine, but he has his chair propped up on the elliptical machine, and he has a food sitting right here. So, bro, you sitting in the chair eating food while you got it propped up on an elliptical machine. How in the heck? How you gonna lose weight, bro? Here's my point. Why do I have this? Because it says if you lack discipline, then there's just no way you're gonna be successful in Forex or in anything you set out to do. You can start, because tons of people want to be entrepreneurs, but the key factor that makes entrepreneurs successful is their discipline. They're willing to get up earlier than the average person. They're willing to stay late when people don't want to stay late. They're willing to put in the extra sacrifice to learn their craft. Now, the rewards are astronomical, but you have to put it in first. So some of you guys, you're trying to do these quick jump in, I'm just going to be a lifetime professional in trading, but you don't study, you don't want to be mentored, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, and you're going through a routine because you're being lazy. And that's a God honest truth. And if you're not going to really put yourself into, let me give you an example. And I want you to ask yourself this question because I had to deal with me. I was this person. You will buy indicator after indicator after indicator after indicator after indicator. But did you even stop to read the manual? I mean, really ask yourself that question. Did you even study the manual? Did you even look at it? Did you write this down? And I give this word all the time because I found this word to be absolutely just mind-blowing. When I learned this word, it changed a lot of things for me. The word manual, and I said this before and I'll say it again, it's a powerful word. The word manual, you know, like the manual, if you buy a product, they put a manual on top of the product. Why do they put the manual on top of the product? or somewhere in the vicinity, so you can easily find the manual. Well, I found out the word manual actually means mind of the owner. In other words, it means the creator of that product had an idea in mind when they created it. But in Forex, what people do, they come with their own thinking process of what they want, and they purchase trading system indicators or whatever else, and they never look at the manual or whatever video was provided to let you know, here's how to use it according to how the inventor created it. Here's what the inventor had in mind. Are you understanding what I'm saying? If you're not going to investigate what the inventor of that indicator had in mind, then why are you buying it? Because if you don't get the results you're looking for, you want to blame the inventor of it versus looking at yourself and saying, did I use it the way he told me to? For an example, anytime you buy an iron, none of us read the manual when we purchase an iron. But if you read the iron, it actually has some silly disclaimers in there. And they put it in there, obviously, because some people are dumb enough to do it. Do not operate near water. Now, you say, well, okay, that's obvious. Actually, it's not. Everybody ain't using common sense. I've been saying for the longest, common sense ain't common. You got some real silly people out there. And in the Forex world, I see it's just astronomically normal for people to not follow the directions of the person's indicators who created them. They have their own ideas. Well, see, I'm trying to do the market maker's method. Then you need to stick with the market maker's tools. You can't purchase somebody else's indicators and start applying it the way you want to. Or better yet, you don't follow anybody's thing. You just think you know what's best. And so you plop up there. You don't start with a demo account. You start with a live account. You don't know what's going on in the market, but you talking about you finna flip and make $1 million. Who are you kidding? You're too lazy to even put in the work to even study for 5 minutes. So if you're not going to be disciplined, then you need to stop. I'm just being as your uncle. I'm just telling you the truth. I was lazy. I didn't put in the work. And as a result, I was losing and leaking money like nothing. Like, there's a hole in your bucket. And I was leaking money because I wasn't willing to do the work. I just thought, oh, I'm just going to jump in here and I don't need nobody. I don't need no mentor. I don't need this and that. I'm just going to slap this on. I'll figure it out. And then I do 5 minutes worth of work and then wonder why my trades wasn't working. Okay, Uncle P, if you are trying to retire using Forex as your vehicle, you need to put in a little bit of work, bro. For an example, I just went, for those who's tuning in late, you want to play this back from the beginning, because before I started this presentation, I just literally went through a list of different news events that you really need to know about for this trading week. You need to know about this week. It is a dangerous trading week. Well, how did I get to a point where I didn't know anything to the point where I can know and identify which ones I need to be aware of? Because I kept losing money and I didn't know why. And I got frustrated. So that alone caused me to start investigating and figuring out, well, why was this trade a winner and this one wasn't? And I soon found out it had nothing to do with the trade, the indicators, or anything else. It was the fact that I was opening up trades right before news events. And nobody was telling me this. Do you understand what I'm saying? And now that I understand this, guess what? Just with that tool alone, I'm saving my account because I just know there's certain trades that I'm just not going to place a day or two before this event because I know it's going to be impactful. People say, well, how do you increase your winning percentage? By having this little bit of knowledge. Are you willing to do the work is the question. That's the question. Are you really willing to do the work? If you're lazy and you don't argue with people. Let me leave you with this. Some of you guys, you argue with people a lot. I have people who argue with me all the time. And that's fine. You can argue with me all you want. But are you getting the results you want from the argument you're making? Because if you're being told that you're lazy and multiple people are telling you this, and you keep debating with them versus changing your ways, then okay, loved one, you're going to continue to get failure. because you're sitting up here debating the truth because you don't like the truth. But the Bible says, and you shall know the truth, and then it shall set you free. Notice how it said, people say, oh, the truth will set you free. That ain't what the Bible said. It says you have to know it first, and then it will set you free. People have been telling you the truth for a long time, but you don't want to know it. That's why you're not free. And then you take your lazy habits into the Forex market, and the market is abusing you because you're refusing to acknowledge the truth for what it is. So the moment you accept the truth for what it is and begin to change your ways, then it sets you free. And that's what happened with me. Are you with me so far? Type in number 10 in the box if you're with me. Finna go to this next one. I want to make sure we're on the same page of discipline. Do you know when to stay out of the trades? Do you know when to keep your hands off the, you know goodness well you shouldn't be trading right now, but you're a person who still jumps into trades anyway. You're not disciplined. You know goodness well you told yourself, well, I'm gonna wait until Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday to let the market settle over the weekend. And you just filled your account because you finna jump into a trade today. But that ain't what you said you was gonna do. See, come on. You're playing games with yourself. And the market is going to use you and chew you up and spit you out. Let's go to this next one. This is a big one. If you cannot handle uncertainty, then Forex and the markets and real estate is not for you. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, you name them all. If you are a person who needs security and you cannot handle uncertainty, see this baby eyes? That's where y'all be. If you can't handle uncertainty, then you have to ask yourself, what am I doing here? Because the nature of the market is uncertainty. That's the reason why, yes, you're going to lose. Last week, let me talk about this. I took more trades than the video I posted last week. I posted a Bitcoin trade and a couple others, but I traded more than that. And I actually tripled my account last week. I tripled my account. But that wasn't without losses. See, I understand that losses are a possibility. I also know that, like, for an example, I lost on the Swiss CHF JPY. Here it is in front of your face, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm still holding a small position. And that small position is up 82 pips. It's right here. See, it's right here. I left it on the screen. I know it's hard to see it, but you know, if you can see it, it's right there, CHF. I'm still in that trade. I closed out most of it, but I'm still up 82 pips. But this is the exact same trade that I lost on in the beginning of the week. But I came right back and got my money back from them, plus a bunch of it, because I know what I'm doing. But the truth of the matter is, I lost. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? Losses are part of this game. Let me give you a better example. So if you watching the basketball finals, okay, the finals. So you got Denver who's killing it. Portland, I'm sorry, I think it's Portland, whatever. It's 4 teams left. Brooklyn Nets and all these. So you got Kyrie Irving, you got the Beard, and you got KD, Kevin Durant, and all this. They got a tight squad. But if you watch them, as dominant as they are, they don't make every shot. But they don't stop shooting either. Do you understand? That's why when you listen to the commentators, they say, oh, from the three-point line, he has an average of a 50%. Oh, from the layups, he has an average percentage. And these numbers, when you really hear them, you say, well, that don't sound like a really big number. But when you see them dominating the game, it's huge. Do you understand what I'm saying? They don't stop shooting just because they miss a shot. Matter of fact, they have a term called shooting slump, meaning that they miss so many shots until they get into a slump. Well, at that stage, what happens mentally, the person has a mental battle that they have to fight, because they can get down on themselves and say, you know what, well, I'm just going to pass the ball. I'm never going to shoot again. Or they could say, you know what, I'm going to continue shooting until I get myself out of this slump. If you're with me and you understand what I'm saying, type an amen in the box. I want to make sure you guys are getting this. Just because you lose a trade here or there doesn't mean that you're not going to win at the end of the week. For an example, on the signals report from the scalping group, do you know it's been 4 months since they had a losing week? Now, they have lost trades during the week, but they always make the money back. That's why when we send out the reports, you clearly can see how many pips the scalping group did. Even the signal service, yes, we have a losing week every once in a while, but it's been a long time. We typically come out on top every week. Every week. Why? Because we don't stop just because you lost a trade here or there. But for some of you guys, you're getting on yourself like you're just down on yourself. And that's because you don't know how to deal with uncertainty. So if you don't know how to deal with uncertainty and risk, let me encourage you to stop trading, because this is just not the place for you. I know this is a hard truth, but the truth will set you free. So if you're a person who cannot handle risk, I beg you to just stop, because you're just going to do yourself in. Because in this business, risk is part of the game. As an investor, cryptocurrency, real estate, stock market, trading options, trading binary, trading Forex, trading the indices. If you're in any of those things, it comes with a measure of risk. If you're trying to be an entrepreneur and you're trying to start a restaurant, a cupcake business, your own daycare, any of these things, they come with a measure of risk. So if you can't handle risk, you need to just stick with your job. Get you some employment and call it a day, where you allow the risk measurements to be handled by management, and they just tell you when to show up, you do your job, and you go home. If that is you, then tell yourself the truth. But stop stepping into investment vehicles and then you tripping when you get there, acting crazy. Dang it. You understand what I'm saying? Side note, and I need to do something separate for some of you guys. Some of you guys, and this is the truth and God honest truth. Some of you guys, you're going through relationship breakups, divorces, and arguments in your home as we speak because of this one thing. Maybe you're not having a problem with dealing with risk. You're okay with risk, but you're attached to a person who can't handle risk. So every time you say, I'm going to be trading, or I'm going to start this business, they start tripping. Come on now. Type a number 1 in the box if you know somebody like that. It don't even have to be Forex. It's just the term is opposites attract. And I have been saying for the longest, since I've been doing relationship coaching for years, I said that's a very dangerous thing to talk about. Because everybody likes that cute little term until the reality of it kicks in. And now here you are wanting to be a Forex trader, but then you're married or you're dating somebody who doesn't like uncertainty. So every step of the way, they're on your back. They're on your back and y'all arguing, finna break up, or you filing for divorce because you're trying to be an entrepreneur, but they like the check. There is a workaround around that, but you guys haven't had that discussion. If you're in that situation, I suggest you hold up. Hold up. Get your house settled. We can talk about that on a different video. Let's go to another one. Here we go. If you are going through a financial hardship, stay away from trading for now. Do you know, from the people I have trained, untold number of people in trading Forex and in the markets over the years. I have trained a ton of people. I don't even keep count. But it's been a lot of people around the world. I have taught on how to trade. Because again, even this video, there's going to be several thousand watching this video. And I get emails all the time, Uncle P, your video on such and such helped me. Thousands of people I've taught in trading. And I've always said, and I will say the same thing, and we actually have a company policy that we do not accept people who are dealing with financial hardship. Here's the reason why. Is it because we can't get people out of financial hardship? No, that ain't the problem. We do it all the time. The problem is the person. If the person does not have the personality to remain calm and disciplined, when they're in that crisis, then absolutely no. Do you know that a lot of people who blow their trading accounts are people who are actually having financial difficulty in the first place? And instead of taking their time to learn the markets, be taught, tutored, come to watch these free YouTube videos, whatever it takes. No, somebody told them, oh yeah, man, you seen dude with that Lamborghini, and then they take their last $50 that should have been paid on getting some bread and some bologna for their family. You know, go to Walmart, get that 99-cent pack of bologna and that $2 loaf of bread and some cheese and a little bit of mayonnaise. It'll last a week, and then get a case of them top ramen noodles, you know, to last you 2 weeks to feed your family. No, they sit up there and they talk about, well, I'm finna flip this thing. And here I tell you, be patient and wait for the right setup. But do you think they listen to me? No, they don't listen. And they're just hopping into the first thing they see when I said clearly, do not trade right now. Wait for the good setup. It's going to be there, but just wait for it to set up properly. They don't listen. Why? Because they're dealing with a financial crisis. I got to pay these bills. You don't understand what I'm dealing with. I do understand because I was in your shoes, but I do understand the market does not care about your financial situation. The market will set up and produce setups when it is ready. Not because your bills are available and your bills need to be paid by XYZ. So do you see why it's tough to trade, to teach people who are in a financial crisis, because they're too focused on what they need versus the market itself and what the market is willing to give. Vastly different concepts. And if you're bringing your financial struggle to the market and you demand in the market, give me a trade right now. People ain't gonna like this one. You come to the market with a plan. And you say, well, I'm gonna trade like XYZ. I'm gonna trade like this week. Here's my strategy. I'm gonna wait for the and then all of a sudden you get panicky and you feel like, well, the market ain't setting up fast enough. So then you drop down. You say, I'm gonna trade from the 15-minute. You know, but now you didn't drop down to the 5. The 5-minute didn't give you a setup fast enough, so now you're dropping down to the 1 minute. So now you, wait a minute. Wait a minute. And how many times happened to me before I learned to do better? Happened to me. How many times have you broken your rules? Lost trades, lost your money, you are fire red hot, and then the next hour or two later, or the very next day, the trade played out exactly the way you figured it would. And now you're ready to toss your computer across the room. But the truth of the matter is, had you just been disciplined and not focused on your financial crisis and focused on what you were supposed to do in the markets, you would have been able to dig yourself out of your financial hole. Come on now, I can't be the only one. But this is what people do. Because their mind is split between what is being told to be done versus my bills need to be paid by Friday. Well, if that's the case, you need to go get some employment, get yourself stable so that when you come back to the market, you are trading with a clear mind. Notice I have yet to talk about trading systems. Because you can have the best trading system on the planet, but if you're bringing a crooked mind, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I'm here because I love you enough to tell you the truth. You need to know the truth. The market doesn't care about your financial crisis. If you're going to use Forex as your vehicle to get out of the hole, you got to get your mind. You have to. Let me help y'all with this one. Years ago, some of you guys may know him. You can Google him on YouTube, Google him or whatever. But in baseball, there's a guy named Torrey Hunter. Okay, Torrey Hunter was a great baseball player. And I think he was Golden Gloves, all this stuff. But I know Torrey Hunter. I lived around the corner from Torrey Hunter. Our sons played on the same baseball team. Okay. One day they had a father-son breakfast for our sons, because my son played on the same football team as his sons. And so they had a father-son breakfast. And so what they did was they had the football players prepare breakfast for the dads. And so Tori and I were sitting together and talking, and he was chopping it up with me, and he was telling me how, that was right after he just got that $21 million contract or a $30 million contract. I forgot what it was. He had literally just got that contract, and he had just signed for another year or something like that. The contract he had got, it was for millions of dollars. So he and I are in this room sitting next to each other, just talking. And Tori told me about how he slept on the couch, how he began with no money when he was in college, slept on a friend's floor, and all these different things. But I'll never forget the story he told me. And this is for some of you guys. He said, do you know the difference between a professional baseball player and an amateur baseball player in college? I said, no, because realistically, I mean, you know, me and him cool, but at the same time, I'm really not a baseball fan, to be honest with you. You give me some free tickets, I'll go, but I'm really not into baseball like that, right? So I didn't want to tell him that, you know, because this is my dude. But I'm sitting up here saying, you know, nah, bro, I don't know. So he told me, and this is for some of you guys. Don't ever forget this story. He said the difference between a professional baseball player and an amateur is simply this. He said a professional baseball player is one who knows how to leave the locker room, whether they're going through a divorce, whether they're going through whatever they're going through in their personal life. The moment they leave the locker room and put their foot on the field, all of that goes out their mind. But he said an amateur will go to the field, and once they leave the locker room, they're still bringing all their emotional baggage from the relationship they're going through that ain't working out, or this, that, and the other. And so their mind is clouded based on all the other things they are dealing with when they hit the field. He said that's the only difference between the two. And I found that fascinating. So you're telling me, Tori, it ain't about the talent. It's about the mindset in professional baseball player. But isn't that what we've been saying about in Forex? Market psychology and all these different things. And everybody wants to start and study market psychology. I'm giving you market psychology because I have been seeing this is the issue. And I went through the same mistake. I was bringing too much of my own baggage to the market, only to figure out that the market could care less. It doesn't care. So if you're going through a financial crisis, so what? You got to put that out of your mind and say, okay, I'm going to be focused and I'm going to be disciplined. And if the right setup takes me 2 or 3 days to wait for it, I'm going to wait it out. I'm not going to break my rules and go from the 15-minute setup and I'm going to drop down to the 1 minute because I need to hurry up and make some money. Because that's the fastest way to blow your account. I hope this is making sense. Let me give you guys one more. This is a big one. Yeah, somebody said, Hasnain, I hope I said your name right. Hasnain said, trade less and make more. 200%, brother, you're on the right track. Professional traders don't trade a lot. They wait a lot. Write that down, please. Professional traders don't trade a lot. They wait a lot. They wait for the right setups. It's like a sniper. Sniper don't just shoot at every person or everything walking by. The sniper aims its target and patiently waits. They test the wind to make sure everything is lining up. It's everything, and they're very patient. But that's why they are called professional snipers. They hit their target way more than the average person. Why? The average person just bang, 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 bang. No, but a professional sniper is waiting patiently, waiting for everything to line up. And when they hit it, boom, one bullet. You done ran through 2 magazines. The professional person went through 1 bullet and hit their target. Let's get to this last one. And if you find value in this video, please click the subscribe button and the like button. I would appreciate it. Thank you. Let's go to this last one. This is a huge one. Some of you guys, you're dealing with this now. You got anger issues. And I like doing these videos because, again, we have a few people who watch it now, but most of the people, thousands, will be watching it later. And that's cool because I got a lot of people who follow me all over the world. And so they're on different time zones. I get it. No problem. But here's the point. The point is that no matter what culture, where you live, I get people from all over the world who sends me messages, literally all over the globe. And human behavior is human behavior. If you are dealing with anger issues, then the market may not be the right fit for you. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Because it is inevitable, no matter how good a trader you are, it is inevitable that eventually you're going to lose some trades. You're going to lose some money here or there. But if you're going to be angry every time you lose a trade, let me give it to you a little bit better. Have you ever played, like on YouTube? I watch YouTube where they do street ball and they be playing basketball on these courts. And then you got this one dude, never fails. You got this one dude every time. Soon somebody dunk on him or hit a shot on him that he don't like and he feel embarrassed, there he go, wanting to start a fight. I don't know, have y'all ever dealt with people like that? You play a board game with them, like you beat them in checkers or chess or Monopoly or something. They want to flip the board over and throw your... Have you ever dealt with people like that? Huh? Or are you like that? Where you just can't handle it? If that's the case, the market is not for you, loved one. And I'm telling you the truth. Because guess what? If you're going to have a hissy fit every time you lose a trade, then trading is not for you. I told you guys the honest God truth. On the Swiss JPY, yes, I posted that I won big money on it, and here it is, still here. I didn't close it out. I'm still up 82 pips on my last position. 82 pips I'm still up on. I closed out the others. But do you know, in the beginning of the week, I actually lost on that trade. I lost on it. But I didn't give up on it. I went back in on the Swiss JPY. Check your own charts. You can check in, verify yourself. It went up a little bit further, and it did hit my stop. But I realized it was just stop hunting, so that's cool. It's part of the game. Most of the time, I can figure out where they're going to try to stop hunting, and I get them. But sometimes I get it wrong, and it's no problem. But I know what I know. And so what happened was, once they got done hitting me, I waited a little while, came right back, wait for the setup again, and boom, slapped them like a pimp. Slapped them. And I'm still slapping them. Up 82 pips on my last position. See, I didn't get angry like I used to. I used to cuss and fuss and toss computers and be mad and furious, don't want to talk to nobody all day. I used to do that. Some of y'all there. But I realized you can't be a professional trader if that's going to be your attitude. Because what I wasn't being told is, and I'll leave you guys with this thought process. Whenever you look at trading systems, they advertise their numbers, they usually say, oh, it has a 75% win rate. Oh, it has an 85% win rate. Oh, it has a 90% win rate, all right? The question you have to ask yourself, 75%, 85%, 90% win rate, that's telling you up front there is going to be a percentage. If you have 75% win rate, that means you're doing extremely well in the markets. 75% win rate. But what that also tells you is that 25% of the time you're not going to win. Or it has an 85% win rate. Then that's telling you in advance you're going to be losing 15% of those trades. It has a 90% win rate. Oh my God, that's very attractive. But it's telling you you're going to be losing 10%. Well, here's what some of y'all do. You get a brand new trading system. You put it on your charts. You know that it has a 90% win rate. So that means the first trade may not be the one. But you quit. You get mad. You want to cuss and fuss. I got scammed. I got ripped off. And not me. I'm talking about just period across the globe. Oh, that strategy I saw on YouTube didn't work. And and you just angry. Not realizing that had you, like me, had you took this same exact one just a day or two later, you would have cashed out like a monster. Do you hear what I'm saying? But you got angry. You got angry. And now your wife or husband wants to divorce you. Kids don't like being around you. You don't like being around yourself. You dealing with depression. You're dealing with all these things because you're angry. Because you bringing too much of you to the Forex market. The market does not care about emotions. When are you going to get that? You bring in emotions. The market don't bring them. You do. Had I had a hissy fit when I lost on this very trade, had I had a hissy fit and tossed this computer and said, the hell with the market, I ain't doing nothing. Like some of y'all, bleep, 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 bleep. I wouldn't be able to sit in front of you and tell you, it's right here. Check your own charts. Don't take my word for it. You can see where it topped out right here. See this big spike it did right here? That's when it hit me, right there. Right there. Go to your charts and you'll see it. That big old spike, it just happened last week. Well, nothing you can do about that. I didn't place my trade wrong. It just something came out and it spiked, huge candle spiked and knocked me out. Now I could have been just fire red piss hot. What the? Why is it always happening to me? Why am I not? I could have did that. Or I could have said, oh, okay, I got y'all. And so as soon as it did this, it hit, stopped me out. I got right back in it and hit it right at it. I'm sorry y'all can't see this. Let me see if I can tilt it in. Hold on. Y'all see that green line right there? You see that green line? See, it's two candles right here. Two of them right here. Go to your own charts and you'll verify. Two candles. The first one hit my stop. I went right back in on the second candle and got in at the very tip top. At the very tip top on the second candle, I got in. And then as it trickled down, I hit him again right here. And then I hit him again right there. And I got him. Go to your own charts. You'll see it. It happened last week. Last week it happened. I got back in on that second candle. Smacked their behinds. Caught them right at the top. They hit me at the top, but I got right back in on the top because I knew it was just a news event candle spiking. And I caught their behinds at the very top. Very next candle. Got them. But see, here's what y'all do. This y'all. What the fuck? And you dropping all them F-bombs and you acting like you don't know who God is. You proclaim to be a child of God and you God like, who are you? What the devil? But all you have to do is just calm down. And even if you didn't catch it at this one, when it dropped down and came back up right here, when it retested that area, boom, you got them. See, remaining calm in a crisis. Remaining calm. But if this is going to be who you are, I'm sorry, loved one, then Forex is not for you because you're going to ultimately lose some trades. I hope this video so far has helped you. I'll continue some more week after next because, again, next week it's Father's Day. But I'm just simply telling you guys some things that I had to learn the hard way because a lot of these behavioral patterns that I'm talking about, I did them and they did not bring me any success. I found failure after failure and it hurt. I get it. But just because you hurt doesn't mean that it's going to get any better if you don't change your ways. And notice I ain't said nothing about anybody's trading system, including ours. No promotion of our site, no promotion of any indicators. This is all about you being focused and getting your head prepared for the game you're willing to play. A lot of people want to become professional athletes, but they don't have the discipline to do it. My son, he did MMA fighting and boxing. I admire him for that. I would love to do it too, but I like eating my cupcakes a little too much. Matter of fact, when I'm done with the video, I'm going to get me some cupcakes and some donuts, some zingers. You understand what I'm saying? I just like the zingers too much. So, okay. I guess I can't do the MMA fighting because you can't have one and the other at the same time. You want a high level of success, you need to discipline yourself when you're eating. He runs for miles, he jogs for miles, he exercises, he disciplines what he eats. No. Matter of fact, I might get a cheesecake today. Cheesecake Factory. I want to be an MMA fighter. All right, bro, you're going to get your behind whooped. Your big belly self want to get in there. Man, please. All right, you guys. Somebody said, I learned it, Uncle, it is hard to be disciplined. It is hard. But again, the truth of the matter is any endeavor on the entrepreneurial level will require discipline. And if that's not who you're going to be, if you're not willing to do that, you got to make a choice, a hard one. Okay, you guys? All right, have a good day. Talk to you guys. And if you're in my class, I will talk to you live on Tuesday. You and I will be talking one-on-one. Okay, I'll be talking with you. Bye.